What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Welcome to another installment of Microbrand Monday. Now today we have a dive watch. We've never seen a Microbrand dive watch before. All jokes aside, this one's actually a very solid one from a watchmaker called Lankon watches. This is their Caspian seal, and I'm very excited because this is a green diver. Now we've taken a look at a lot of Microbrand divers throughout the years. However, most of them being blue, black, gray, everything in between, but not so many being green. And I'm not talking about the Hulk. Disgusting, dastardly Hulk. Now, speaking of the Hulk, if you enjoy watches and you don't take anything too seriously, consider Hulk smashing that subscribe button because we are the laughingstock of the watch world and we would love to see you join us. Then, I want you to go ahead and find the like button's car and take it to a gas station. Keep in mind, it's a gasoline engine, but do it a favor, fill up that car with diesel. It is 9:12 a.m. Let's get down to business. By the way, guys, I'm a little bit of a mummy today. It's healing. It is healing. We got a case diameter of 41 millimeters, a thickness of 13.7 millimeters, a lug to lug of 46.5 millimeters, and a lug width of 22 millimeters. So if you want to put some straps on this baby, other than the one that comes from the factory, you're gonna have some thick boys over there. Now this watch is powered by the Miyota 8217. We're going to talk more about that in a moment. You're getting about a 42-hour power reserve. It is a 21 joule movement, 21,600 BPH frequency, and this is what Miyota considers part of their standard line. So this is not one of their premium movements. Again, we'll talk about that. This is a stainless steel case with an aluminum bezel insert. You're getting a threaded crown with a 150 meter water resistance rating and a date complication at the 6 o'clock. Now I have the watch here in my hands and I'm looking at the sapphire crystal. It does not sit atop the bezel at all. This is very much a flat sapphire. There is some AR coating. They didn't specify whether the coating was on the top side or the underside of the crystal, but the spec sheet does say there is AR coating on it. There are 4 colorways to choose from, this one being the green, and the price is planned to be $250 to $300 according to Lankon watches. Now in my opinion, those are some really solid specs, and the price makes it even sweeter, but we're gonna have to go ahead and talk about the pros and cons because there are some things I really like about this watch and there's a couple things that could be better. Real quick, guys, before we get any further, I do want to thank today's sponsor, Skillshare. Now, most of my viewers know and love Skillshare already, but for those of you who don't know, Skillshare is an online learning community filled with thousands of inspiring classes for creatives like you and myself. That's right, I'm even taking a class on Skillshare, and it has been a blast. I'm checking out video for Instagram, tell an engaging story in less than a minute, and it's been helping me out a bunch. Halise Narvaez, she is a genius when it comes to really engaging with viewers in really short form content, and not to give myself a pat on the back, but if you go to @TheSimpleConsultant on Instagram, you can see the content is truly poppin'. If I do say so myself. Look at that handsome guy. I learned about finding my theme. I learned about jump cuts and making things snappy. And all around, it helped me engage with you just that much further. But let's say you're not into social media. That's perfectly fine. Maybe you're into graphic design, photography, or even fine art. Skillshare has it all. Now, Skillshare is literally curated for learning, which means there's no ads. And the best part is they're always launching new premium classes, so you can kind of just stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. Now, the first 1,000 of my viewers to click the link in my description get a free trial membership of Skillshare Premium. You gotta check it out, guys. Please take advantage of this. So do something today that you couldn't do yesterday, and let's all learn with Skillshare. Skillshare, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. Let's get back to the review. First pro, great bezel. Okay, the bezel feels incredible. It looks incredible. So I'm gonna put it up to the mic like I always do. Definite ratcheting retention, will not back out on you if you were to use this as a timing device. I would say go for it. Give it the seal of approval for T3 pizza roll timing. Another thing I like is that there is a little bit of like an off-white, almost patination when it comes to the markers on the bezel, but it's not so in your face that it's like forced, rustic, old. It's just very tasteful. I like that it's not pure white. Another thing I absolutely love to see is that the lume is impeccable on this watch. Guys, it seems like the lume on these Microbrands, every Monday I get disappointed. Lankon crushed it with this Caspian seal. I love that there are little details, like the logo is even loomed on one side. It's just very nice. The indexes they pop off the green dial. Very, very dynamic, simple but tasteful, very visible, very legible, I should say. I love that the date window is at the 6 o'clock. Not this 4 o'clock, not anything kind of weird and wonky. It's just very simple and clean. Another thing I noticed from handling the watch is that there's some really impressive finishing. The lugs, the space in between the lugs, super duper sharp. There's some dual finishing on the edge of the case, on the sides of the case, and on the face of the lugs. It's very nice brushed grains, but then on the edges, there's some really nice mirrored polishing. Simple, not something in your face, but the more you spend time with the watch, the more you realize they took a lot of time with it. And the final pro would just be the sheer like bang for buck, right? $250 to $300 for those specs. It's incredible. I'd honestly say this watch could compete with even some of Orient's entry-level offerings. But with the good comes the bad, so we do have to bring up the cons. The first con is, okay, I'm happy that this does not have an NH35 in it, not because I think that NH35 is a bad movement, but because I'm just kind of sick of seeing it all the time. However, okay, the Miyota movement they chose is fine. You're getting hacking, you're getting hand wind, you're getting a date complication, it's accurate, it's robust. The rotor, kind of loud actually, but that doesn't turn me off. It's not like it's scraping up against something. I just wish they splurged a little bit more for one of Miyota's premium movements. You're getting a smoother sweep. It's just more pleasant to look at. It's a bit more impressive, but I understand with the higher quality of movement comes a heftier price tag. The next con might be personal preference, but in my opinion, when I look at the profile of this watch, you'll notice a very classic, clean case shape, right? This diver has a rotating bezel, kind of, I wouldn't say slim lugs, but it's not overly thick, and a crown without a crown guard. This is a very simple, classic diver's design. However, if you're gonna go with this case shape without crown guards, you gotta give it a beefier crown. Okay, the crown feels good. It threads and unthreads perfectly fine. There's some nice serration on it. However, it's just like awkwardly dinky when it comes to, you know, the overall look of the watch. The crown, it honestly sticks out as being like, it's awkwardly small. That's what she said. The next con, you guys already know what I'm going to complain about. Drilled lugs doesn't have it. If this is a watch that comes on a strap, okay, you know people are probably going to swap it out. If it's a sports watch, if it's a diver, you know people are going to switch it out. You need to make it easier for the consumer. Drilled lugs make it look more like a utilitarian piece. I understand it takes a bit more time to drill the lugs, it's a bit more work, however, it's worth it and your customers will love you. And the final complaint I have, and this is exactly, warm up your fingers guys, because you're gonna be complaining. I'd love to see you dive that deep. Ask your mom how deep I dive. 150 meter water resistance rating, that's perfectly adequate. I would totally feel comfortable swimming with this watch. It's not like I'm worried about it. It's not like a Hamilton where, you know, you go on any of the watch forums and people are like, hey, I was in a humid climate and my khaki field watch fogged up. It's nothing like that. However, I would like to see it, like, just at least give it a 200 meter water resistance rating, right? Like, come on, you can do that. 150, kind of awkward. So what do I think about the Lankon Caspian seal? Total spec monster, right? And for the price, I don't think you can ignore this watch when it comes to entry-level divers. It's a total contender. Again, I'm a huge fan of Orient. Orient's actually currently sponsoring the channel. However, this is absolutely in competition with them when it comes to sports watch offerings. $250 to $300, that's a great price range. You're getting a ton of specs for that. Could they be better? Yes, better movement, bigger crown, but honestly, I think those are minimal complaints for what you get. Still a great package. I love it. Wow, I keep saying awkwardly small, feels good, package. Why am I doing that? Oh my gosh, I gotta get a grip, dude. Jeez. But jokes aside, thank you so much, Lankon, for sponsoring this episode and sending me a Watch 2 review. Thanks for being a part of Microbrand Monday, and thank you to the viewers for checking this out, hanging out with us. What do you think about this Lankon Caspian seal? Would you wear one? Would you be interested in one of these entry-level divers, or would you prefer to go to someone like Orient? Leave me that comment. Let me know what you think, and I would love to see you in the comments section. Also, go ahead, Hulk smash that like button. We're talking about divers, we're talking about green divers, we're talking about the Hulk. Smash it, baby. And then finally, I want you to go ahead and find the like button's car. Do it a favor, take it to a gas station. Remember, this is a gasoline engine, but fill it up with diesel, would you? And there you have it. I will catch you on the next one. Check out my personal website, thetimetellershop.com. That's the #1 place to find affordable vintage luxury watches, handpicked by me. If you're a fan of cars, go ahead, subscribe to T3 Time to Drive, where I talk about cars and everything automotive. And yeah, just stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. And always remember, I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and I didn't invent time. I just tell it.